Good morning, great Biafrans, wonderful people, beautiful people. I welcome you once again this morning. It is indeed yet another great day and one that Chukwu Kabiama have made. And of course, it is a privilege for us to be alive today. It is a privilege. It is an honor that we are counted among the living this morning. Therefore, we have come to do the needful, because as long there is life in us, as long there is still breath in us, we will not stop doing what is noble. We will not stop doing what is expected of us. We will not stop paving the way for our children unborn and those born, and of course, next generation to come. We must get ourselves busy. We must make ourselves useful on this planet they call Earth, because this justifies the essence of our existence. It justifies the reason why we should be alive and the reason why we should be living, because living without any motive, living without any purpose is wasteful living. Of course, we as Biafrans, we as IPOBians, irrespective of what we are going through, we are still pushing forward. We are still pushing ahead. You hear about struggle. Have you ever asked yourself, why is it called a struggle? Have you ever asked yourself, why is it called a struggle? It is called a struggle because it is not easy. It is called a struggle because you fight with everything in you. You fight with your blood. You fight with your sweat until you get what you want. It is not a walk in the park. It is not milk and honey. It is indeed a struggle, and that is what we are facing at the moment. Everything we are going through, even at the moment, is in line with a struggle. Many people have gone this road. Many people have gone this path, and I can tell you, many people have experienced what we are experiencing today, and they have come out of it victorious. And therefore, this is why we are also doing the same thing this morning. And we believe by the grace of God, by the grace of Chukwu Kikabiam, and by the grace of Elohim, we shall vanquish. By the grace of Chukwu Kikabiam, we shall vanquish. And this morning, we have come to do the needful. We have come to do that which is expected of us. We have come to restore Biafra. They can kill us for all they want. We will not stop. They can bomb us for all they like. We will not capitulate. We will continue to move forward. We will continue, of course, to push forward until Biafra is restored, because the only thing that can make us stop, the only thing that can make us stop is Biafra. Without Biafra, there is no need. There is no need indeed of living. Biafra is the only thing that can justify the reason why we are living. Therefore, good morning. Permit me to welcome you, of course. This morning, it is a good morning indeed, as I have earlier indicated. My name is MAZI Kechukwu. Of course, I hail from Olo. Umuawa is my village, and I have come this morning to serve the indigenous people of Biafra in my own capacity. And of course, I'm here to do mine. And I hope you are doing your own. You are doing your own work, because Biafra is the only thing that will reward us. Biafra is the only thing that will make us to feel accomplished. And that is why we are here to do this work. Therefore, this morning, I welcome you wherever you are hearing the sound of my voice. I want you to begin to welcome. All right, we are back. And of course, we are ready to proceed. We are ready to move as fast as we can this morning. Don't forget, it is Radio Biafra Sadek. People of the East is where you're at. It is Breakfast with MAZI Ikechukwu Onoha this morning. Before I maybe bring on our mother, Evangelist Ozako, I need to just share one or two things with us that has been on my mind. And then, of course, I will bring them in quickly because of time. All right. There is this thing that I want to talk about because most of the time we are being deceived. We are being naive about those things. And I believe our leader has touched on this issue many times. But of course, you know, sometimes when we hear things we don't digest, we just hear it in passing and then we forget. But I think it is imperative and it is important this morning that I repeat this so that we can really understand, because even the Bible said that my people perish due to lack of knowledge. And you know, knowledge is power and it's very, very important. I don't know, we've heard this before. The word takia. The word takia. Our leader have said it over and over again. But I want to re-echo and re-emphasize on that word called takia. Now, takia is a word found in Quran. Takia is a word found in Quran. And now, the reason why I'm mentioning this word takia is because this Fulanese has been using this takia to play around the brain and the minds of our people. They will come and lie and tell us some certain things and then turn around again and begin to hug our people, begin to hug them and kiss them. I was reading, one of them said he named two of his sons Igbo name. Can you understand? Can you believe that? These guys are brainwashing our people. But because we lack knowledge, we don't understand. That is why we are falling to this trap. You know what? The Fulanese you found in the so-called Nigeria today are full of lies. From day one, from the onset of the late Buhari's administration, everything you have been told so far is a lie. All the things you have been told so far by Eli Mohammed is a lie. But the point is that we keep on digesting them. We keep on, embracing them. We keep on accepting and agreeing, forgetting that in Quran, their religion allows them to lie to us, unbelievers. It is not a sin. As far as Quran is concerned, they can tell us whatever and claim that they told us that lies because they were under duress. They have no other choice than to lie to us. And then when they go back, they will pray and everything is fine. This is what takia means, and this is what their religion tells them. Now, let me read this for you. I'm actually reading this from the Quran, and I want you to listen, and I want you to pay close attention, because knowledge is power. Knowledge is very, very powerful. The Prophet Muhammad allows his followers to lie to unbelievers. Now, I'm going to tell you how this came about, when this happened, as it is written in the Quran. Now, the first verse of 51, it says, anyone who, after accepting faith in Allah, utters unbelief except under compulsion. Do you hear that? Are you listening? This is Quran that I'm reading to you. The first verse says, anyone, any Muslim, any Fulani Janjaweed who, after accepting faith in Allah, utters unbelief except under compulsion. Now, what is compulsion, if you may ask? Now, compulsion to them is the fact that Biafrans want to go out from Nigeria. To them, they felt compelled. They call it compulsion, so they can now lie and tell the so-called Igbo leaders, the so-called Ohanes and Dushin and Diama, they can tell the so-called Southeast governors lies because they felt compelled to lie in order not to allow Biafrans to go. They will come up and tell them, no, we are one people. No, we are brothers. No, we are friends. We should not allow you people to go. We love you people. You can come to the north, do whatever you want, build all your skyscrapers, build your mansion, build your business in the north. Do you understand? That is compulsion. And their Quran allows them to lie because they felt compelled, in the sense that they don't want you to go. And for them to do whatever it takes to make you not to go, they have to lie in the name of Takia. Let me continue. So Quran, the first verse said, anyone who after accepting faith in Allah ought has unbelief except on they are inseparable. We are the same people. But in their heart, they know they are lying. They hate you with passion. They hate you with everything in them. It is called taqiyya. Islam allows them to do so. So as I was reading the first verse, anyone who after accepting faith in Allah utters unbelief except under compulsion. Do you see that? I mean, if you read the Bible don't tell you, thou shalt not commit adultery except if the woman comes to you naked. You can do it anyway. The Bible don't say that. The Bible don't say to you, thou shalt not steal. But if there is no food at home, the Bible don't say that. But Islam says that. Thou shalt not lie. But if these so-called unbelievers, now let me tell you the foundation of taqiyya and how this taqiyya started. Remember, what I'm reading to you is directly from the Quran. I am not making them up. It is something that happened. I want to read this out because I'm just checking to get this. All right. There was one, he is a servant of Muhammad. I'm just trying to get, what actually transpired. Apparently, he was caught. And then he was meant to denounce Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad, and he went ahead and denounced the Prophet Muhammad. So when he came back to Muhammad, he cried and told the Prophet Muhammad that he have sinned. And Muhammad said to him, did you do it under compulsion? And he said, yes. And Muhammad said to him, then you did not commit any sin by lying. As a matter of fact, whenever you are compelled, whenever you are under compulsion to lie, go ahead and do so. Your heart is clean, as long as your heart is still intact with Islam. Now, listen to this. The non-believers once caught Ammar bin Yasir. Listen to this. The non-believers, that's people who are not Muslim anyway, the non-believers once caught Ammar bin Yasir. And they forced him to praise their false gods and to condemn Prophet Muhammad. Ammar bin Yasir is a follower of Muhammad, one of his followers. He was caught by the so-called unbelievers, and he was made to worship the gods of the unbelievers, and he was also made to condemn Prophet Muhammad. They forced him to an extent that Ammar bin Yasir gave in and conceded to their demands. After that, when he returned to the Prophet Muhammad, Ammar narrated the whole story to him, Prophet Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad asked him, how do you feel in your heart after lying, after condemning me, after denying me, after worshiping those idols? To which Ammar bin replied to Muhammad, I am fully content with Allah. Muhammad that he is content with Allah. Do you understand how those people operate? I just want you to get a bit of understanding this morning. The people you are dealing with, the demons you are dealing with, these people have no hearts. Because anybody who can lie without a remorse, that person have no soul. That person is a demon. This is what we are dealing with. When our so-called elders are misbehaving like this, this hold and grip that the Fulani has over our elders is satanic. It's through taqiyya. It's through their religion. It's not because they are so intelligent, but rather their religion has made way for them to lie and get away with murder. So as I was reading, Prophet Muhammad asked him, how do you feel in your heart after lying and denying me? To which Ammar replied, I am fully content with Allah's religion in my heart after lying. To this, Prophet Muhammad said to him, if non-believers, listen to this and listen very carefully. Pay close attention to know who you are dealing with, to know the Lucifer that we are dealing with. The Fulanis, they are evil. Today's Prophet Muhammad said, if non-believers ask you to say the same again, do you in Anokwa? Muhammad said, if they ask you to lie again or even deny your religion. Today's Prophet Muhammad said, if non-believers ask you to say the same again, say it. Unbelievable. Say it. I don't know if I'm talking to somebody this morning. I don't know if I'm talking to Biafrans, because Biafrans are meant to be the sophisticated and more intelligent of them all. We are the people that knows the time. We know the time it is. These people have Heriganyi Mugu for so long. Using this takia, they come, they lie. 2 days later, they withdraw, they change. They are like chameleon, Ogumagala. Today, it is quick notice to the Igbos in the north, the Biafrans in the north. The following day, they turn around and said, no, one group will say, quick notice. The other group will come and say, don't mind them. They are on their own. It is called takia. Biafrans, it is called takia. And they have used this very, very well, very, very smoothly. And indeed, so it is working for them. And they have used it to create so much confusion in our midst, in our lives as a people, as a race. We are misunderstanding each other. We are fighting because takia has been planted in our midst as Biafrans. We are unbelievers as far as they are concerned, and their religions allows them to lie unto us. This is the wisdom that I wish I should pass on to Biafrans this morning. And of course, my name is MAZI Chukwu Onoha. This is Radio Biafra SADC. Well, and bless you. Hear me, O Biafrans. If you have not been listening to me this morning, I want you to listen again and pay close attention. If you have a Muslim person, listen to me. If you have a Muslim person, I'm talking about a real true Muslim as your friend, he is not your friend. She is not your friend. Let me shock you, unless this is not the Quran that I'm reading. Unless that so-called Muslim does not believe in his or her own religion. Because as we are Christians, we believe in the Bible. Judaism, they believe in the Torah. Whatever it is that you are worshiping, you believe in whatever book that is there that teaches you about the so-called religion. Now listen to this. The second verse says, let not the believers, and when they say believers here, they're talking about the Muslims. Let not the believers take for friends or helpers unbelievers. Are you listening to this? Let not the believers take for friends or helpers unbelievers. Now I'm asking you, what the hell are we doing in one Nigeria? What the hell are we doing in one Nigeria with the Fulanese? I'm asking you, what the hell are we doing in one Nigeria with these people? Let me read further and open your eyes so that you can understand the monster, the devil that we are facing, the so-called Fulanese and their fake religion. Let not the believers take the friends for friends, I beg your pardon, or helpers, unbeliever, rather than believers. They are telling them that they will only befriend their type. They can only befriend their so-called Muslims. And do you understand why they favor each other? Do you understand the whole nepotism going on in the zoo? Do you understand the whole shenanigan going on in the zoo? They favor each other. And I'm going to close with this. But let me first open your eyes wide. And then, of course, I will get my guest this morning on, because I have a guest who need to speak to Biafrans this morning. Let me take this from the top, because this is really illuminating. Let not the believers take for friends or helpers unbelievers rather than believers. If any do that, in nothing will there be help from Allah. Do you understand that? They are telling them that when they are befriending you, or when they are making you their friend or their helper, that they will not get any help from Allah, except by way of precaution. Are you listening to this? Now, this comes in Takia again. Are you listening? Takia appears again. They say they cannot do that. They cannot take you, unbelievers, as their friend. But the only way they can take you as their friend is when they are doing it deceitfully, when they are lying to you, when they are making you believe that you and them are friends, when they are making your so-called leaders, they say to them, I'm your godfather. I will help you in your campaign. In the little mind of your so-called governors, in the little mind of their so-called leaders, they believe that the so-called Muslims are their friend. They are their godfathers. But the godfather or the so-called godfathers are doing this thing deceitfully, because Islam, in as much it allows them or disallows them not to befriend you as an unbeliever, it also allows them to do it deceitfully in the name of Takia. He said they can do it by way of precaution, that you may guard yourself from them. Do you understand? Now, whenever they are dealing with you, Biafrans, they must be very careful. They must guard themselves. They must do it deceitfully. In their hearts, it is so dirty. Hatred against you as a Biafran. But outwardly, they pretend they are your friends. They will sow Ishiago. They will wear Ishiago. They will put Ishiago on all their children. My goodness me, are we so stupid and dumb that we cannot read between the lines, that these people are just playing us for a fool? That you may guide yourself from them, but Allah cautions you. All right, let me go to this one finally. It says, Takata and Takia are the same thing. I'm reading Quran, please. I'm not making this up. It's not my book. It is the book of Islam. Their holy book they call Quran, filled with hatred and lies. Takata and Takia are the same thing. Listen to this. The meaning of this verse is that no believer shall befriend an unbeliever, either internally or externally, except in Takia. Are you listening? Takata and Takia are the same thing. The meaning of this verse is that no believer shall befriend an unbeliever, meaning no Islam, no Muslim shall befriend you as a Biafran, as a Christian. They are not allowed to be your friend by their book, which they call holy. And they shall do it internally or externally. But they are only allowed to do it when they are lying, when they are deceitful about it. Only through Takia means they will appear to be your friend. But inside, if they turn off the light, they will strike you and smack you death. You can fight with your best friend, but it will not get into an extent that your best friend will take a knife and kill you, because friendship is so powerful. But now, when your so-called Fulani friend get upset with you, do you know how he responds? He stabs you dead right there. And you ask yourself, was this friendship real from the beginning? No, it was not. It is a friendship of Takia. It is a deceitful friendship. The Allah they worship allows them to love you deceitfully. And that is why it is called Takia. All right, my time is really running out. Let me summarize. Takata and Takia are the same thing. The meaning of this verse is that no believer shall befriend an unbeliever, either internally or externally, except in Takia. Externally, they must love you outwardly, deceitfully, but in their hearts is full of hatred. Then what the hell are we doing in the so-called useless one, Nigeria, when you are living with somebody whom their religion has warned not to love you, whom their religion has warned not to have anything to do with you, whom their religion has warned not to have anything in common with you? Does it surprise you of this thing that is happening? Does it surprise you of this killing? When their soldiers are sent to the east, they slaughter without mercy. When their soldiers are sent to the east, they slaughter without mercy, because their religion said, you are not their friend, you are not their brother. The only time they show you friendship is when they are lying to you through Takia. Then you keep on complaining and mourning and say, oh, Boko Haram in the east. Why aren't you fighting against Boko Haram? Why aren't you fighting against ISWAP? Why would they do so? Because they are the same people. They believe in the same Allah. They believe in the same Quran. You are unbeliever. Boko Haram is not an unbeliever. Boko Haram is a believer. Biafrans, I'm trying to open your eyes this morning. Be wiser than serpent, Biafrans. You are dealing with devil himself. In the name of Fulanese, you have no idea what you are dealing with. But thank God MAZI Nnamdi Kanu have decoded these people long time ago. So this action is called takia. It is permitted to befriend him. If he is afraid of them, he must keep enmity with them internally. Do you understand? They befriend you, Biafran, because they're afraid of you. They don't know what you can do the next minute. But inside their heart, my goodness me, any minute, any opportunity they get, your head will roll on the floor. I would like to leave it here. If you have ears, hear. If you are so stupid and dumb, keep on jumping up and down like a headless chicken in your stupidity. In the name of one Nigeria. Trust me when I tell you, your head will roll, because the so-called Co-One Nigerians, they hate you with passion. Their religions allows them. The worst thing is when a man's religion allows him to kill another man.
For simply protesting. Wow. And you are saying, let us give them power to regulate social media. I would never be part of that.
There was something you said earlier when you referred to the Eastern Security Network. I hope you are not justifying violence by any group inside Nigeria, because one of the bases for the objection of the federal government to Twitter is that Twitter has become a platform inside Nigeria for a particular separatist movement within the country. And then you were waxing lyrical about the Eastern Security Network, the ESN, the militant wing of the IPOB. If you could just clarify your position on that before we move on.
I totally oppose. I totally deprecate and condemn unreservedly the killing of policemen, the burning of police stations, the carnage that is going on in the East. I am not sympathetic to IPOB. I don't believe in IPOB. I don't subscribe to IPOB. I am not a follower of Nnamdi Kanu. I have never been. I've always been critical of what he's fighting for. I do not believe in Biafra. I also do not believe in splitting Nigeria, even though I totally oppose the fraudulent one Nigeria they are talking about, because the united Nigeria that I want must be based on justice, must be based on rule of law. But I do not believe that we should divide the country. At the same time, we cannot criminalize what ordinarily should be an exercise of the right to self-determination. Eastern Security Network, whatever they are doing, I do not endorse it. I totally condemn it. But the point I am making, Dr. Bati, is that we should not be addressing these matters on the surface. Let us go to the roots. What led to the Eastern Security Network? Did Nnamdi Kanu just start with this group? They started by marching, carrying flag, going on the street, protesting. What was the response of the Nigerian state? What was the response of the Buhari regime? They deployed Operation Python dance. The Python was dancing on the lives of the people of the Saudis. People were being killed. People were being slaughtered. They were being attacked. They were not even allowed to protest, even when they charged him for treasonable felony. Even when they had filed charges before Justice Nyako at the Federal High Court in Abuja. The military, in a so-called democracy, invaded the house of Nnamdi Kanu, desecrated the palace of his father, who was the traditional ruler. You cannot have that in a decent country. So as we condemn the killing of policemen, the burning of police, the burn of stations and INEC offices, we must admit that this regime, this government, takes responsibility for the resort to violence by the group known as Eastern Security Network. If we are not truthful about these things, Dr. Bassi, we will continue to see history repeat itself. Boko Haram started when Muhammad Yusuf was extrajudicially killed. Have we learned any lesson as a country? The answer is no. We are still resorting to primitive, draconian ways of responding to civic agitation. When people are protesting, you engage them, you talk to them. That is why you say you are running a democracy. You don't kill them. You don't deny them of the right to protest. But we keep saying IPOP, and what the president said, he will speak to them in the language that they understand. These people have not recovered. The people of Eastern Nigeria, the Igbos in particular, they are still going through the agony of the civil war. And you are saying you treat them in the language they understand? What is the language of the civil war?
But there's an argument, and I'd like your comments on that argument, that the president's remarks were taken out of context. Those he was referring to were the armed groups who have forgotten the pains of the Southeast during the Civil War. The armed groups who are going around torching Nigerian infrastructure belongs to us, INEC infrastructure, for our democracy. That comment was made to a specific cadre of criminals. So those who leapt to their defense were wrong-footed, including Twitter, who did not take time to appreciate the broader context of that remark before deleting the tweet. Now, should Twitter have approached the Nigerian government, because this is a sovereign state, before deleting that tweet? I want your take on that. And also the general global move towards social media regulation. The US government, the US House of Representatives actually has 4 bills right now in the offing to restrain social media giants about utilizing user data, buying other platforms. I grant you, none of them is trying to restrain or censor the actual posts that individuals make. But there is a general sense that social media giants are too big for their britches. Your comments?
Do you know that as I speak today, Nigeria does not have a data protection law? Embarrassingly enough. Because you are citing the example, and that is why I'm saying when we make these comparisons, we must look at the peculiarity of these countries. There is no single one data protection law in Nigeria today. Not even one. Not even one that protects the data of Nigerians. We don't have. We do not have. Now, you make, the point that the president's comment was taken out of context. The only person or persons who took the president's comment out of context is the president and Lai Mohammed. Nigerians understood what he said. I personally understood what he said. The context in which he said it was clear. He didn't just stop at that. He didn't say he was referring to the armed groups. No. When you look at it objectively, when you look at it in context, because he said that they have businesses all over the country. Is it IPOP that has businesses all over the country? Does IPOP have business in Kano, in Sokoto, in Zamfara, in Benue, in Kwara, in Ogun, in Cross River? They don't. Does the Eastern Security Network have businesses all over the country? The answer is no. Buhari was referring to the Igbos. We can admit it. We can pretend about it. His body language has been clear. He started by saying you cannot treat 93 and 5% equally. We have seen how he has marginalized the Igbos. No Igbo is represented in the National Security Council. Look at the nepotism. So when we are saying his comment was taken out of context, are we also saying that his nepotistic appointments, his clearly sectional appointments are also taken out of context? Because this is a president that has a pedigree, a shameful pedigree, an unfortunate pedigree of favoring a section of the country that has polarized this country as never before. So that is not a precedent that you will tell me spoke at, that people are taking him out of context. He was clear on what he meant. In any event, we have had the so-called herdsmen or the so-called armed Fulani herdsmen committing killing people across the country from the north to the south. Has he spoken to them? Because in your interview with him, he made reference to what Governor Otom said, that the Governor Otom said is Fulani and that he cannot deny it. Not all Fulanis are criminals. But as Buhari spoken to his kinsmen, the ones that are criminals, the ones that are armed, in the language that they understand, the answer is no. We want language has he been speaking to them? Language of encouragement, language of endorsement, ruga, settlement, grazing roads, and so on and so forth. Despite that governors have rejected these divisive policies, Buhari is still trying to force it on the throat of Nigerians. He has not addressed the killings by the herdsmen. Has he spoken to bandits in the language that they understand? for the last 6 years? The answer is no. Rather, Gumi is advocating amnesty. School students are being kidnapped. Just yesterday, people were praying in Zaria against kidnapping. Buhari has not spoken to kidnappers in the northeast, the northwest, in the language that they understand. He has also not spoken to Boko Haram and ISWAP in the language that they understand. But suddenly, he now knows the language that IPOP will understand. I do not think that is how to run a country whose unity you are willing to kill for. I do not think how to run a country that is...
Let's move on from this Twitter and this political...
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.